everybody, and welcome to our webinar Wednesday for February. So happy February. It's February the 1st, and can't believe it's already turned in my calendar. I had to turn my calendar today. So anyway, I'm glad you decided to join us today. We're going to talk today about applying for awards and for submitting proposals for NAE4-HYDP for the conference that's coming up in October. And so we know that y'all all have done these fantastic programs throughout the year, and we're just not adequately getting those out there and sharing them like we should. So we just had some requests to kind of go over things and offer some help and support. And so Sam and Sue are fabulous at this. And so we're going to try to help you walk through that. And we're glad to help you through any process that you might need or ideas. And we can all share together and talk about like what things can get submitted. And thank you, Acacia, for being the leader on this and kind of pushing this forward too for our state association. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Well, first of all, we wanted to start out. I'm going to turn up to Sue. She has a little activity for us to do first.
So we just wanted you guys to, I know most people know everybody, but Megan's going to go ahead and put up a whiteboard for us. And we are going to all just grab, I don't know if you've done whiteboard on Zoom before. We just checked it out yesterday, and it's basically like a Jamboard. You can grab a little Post-it note there and put it on the whiteboard. We want you to just put your name on there and put one program that you're super proud of that you've done in this past year.
Is it loading?
Yep, I can see it.
Y'all can see it? Okay. I'm not able to see it, but that's okay.
Oh,
that's fine.
That's funny. I'll just wait a minute till I see most people have posted on there. We actually have 18 participants now, so I'll give people a few minutes. So what we're doing is, if you can see the whiteboard, just grab a little Post-it note from the side, or you can even just, it doesn't even have to be on a Post-it. You can just write right on there too, and just write your name and like one program that you're super excited about, that you're really proud of from the year 2022. Okay, so some of the things I'm seeing is tribal STEM programming. Lindsay does, Chandra does a kids cooking school on the move. April does Cloverbud College, which sounds really cool. Brianna does, of course, volunteer training. And I think, Brianna, you had something else up there at one point too that I saw that looked some reasons judging that she's proud of. Renee Gress had a meets team for the first time. Ooh, awesome. Way to go. Tractor safety camp is Brianna. Dustin does On the Move Junior. Samantha, 4-H stock talks, which sounds pretty interesting. That's probably a Minnesota thing, but that might be coming here now. State Fair livestock, springboard experiences, Samantha. Oh, she's got a lot of good ideas. Okay. All right. I don't see a whole lot more hopping on, unless, oh, maybe I'm not able to just read them here. I see people flying all over, but not typing. So anyway, I'll give you guys one more minute. How's that? And then we'll close this up. I don't see anybody else actually typing though. So maybe you can close that, Megan, and we'll just put the PowerPoint up. The reason behind that is that we wanted you guys to start thinking about those programming areas that you're doing that you're proud of, because basically what this is about is celebrating our work that we've done in the past year. And like Megan said, we aren't always so good about, tooting our own horns and getting our work out there. So we want to get better at that. And all right, do you want to move to the next slide, Megan? Okay, so we're going to talk about two areas. I'm going to talk about the NAE4-HYDP awards area. Megan's going to talk about the proposals for if you wanted to present there at the conference. The conference is in Philadelphia, and I think that's on one of the slides, so we'll get to that. I think it's October 10th through the 12th, maybe. And so throughout this too, like we're also want to encourage you guys to do that. How about if you pop it in the chat box if you have been to the conference before and if you're planning to go. I guess no one's going. There we go. Have attended. Okay. Planning. Yes and yes. Yes and planning. Yes and undecided. Yes and yes. Okay. So I'm hoping that those of you that have not been there might get to go again, because it is a really good experience. So there is an award. We'll send out this PowerPoint after we're done here, and you guys can go out and look at the links that we have, because that link and that page was also Megan sent that out when she sent the invite. So there's things to look at, criteria sheets, all the required information about your submissions are there. And then the guidelines, there's a video from 2022, but it's posted this year again too, because things don't always change very well. Okay. Oh, there it is. So that's what it looks like when you go to that website. There's that where the little hand is right now is where all of the awards are, or like the criteria sheets and all those different things there. The videos are there. There's a video in case you want to judge. And I don't know if that's closed, but when you see those requests come out asking for people to be a reviewer for some of them, if you're not ready to submit, I do that. It is such a great way to read other people's proposals, and then you can say, oh, well, my goodness, I can write half as good as this. I mean, or, you know, this person can write half as good as me. So, man, I would be great. So you just have to, like, it gives you a big boost of confidence. All right, Megan, let's keep going. I'll try to.
I was going to say, I haven't seen anything come out for like reviewers for proposals yet. Okay. So I would say definitely an award, either one. I haven't seen either, but definitely jump on that, because that kind of helps you see what people are looking for, what people are submitting, and kind of helps you be like, oh, I got this.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of people are kind of like undecided, or have been going to the conference and want to go too. So, so just some tips for any kind of application that you do. And I have further down, and I should have maybe stuck that in here, but we do have a really nice example of one that Sam did, because Minnesota has like really nice kind of, I don't know if it's even letterhead, but it's just a template to put stuff on. It looks really nice. So I'll show you that. But just make sure you have enough white space, that your category and the name is on top of each. You have page numbers on there. Most of this, the award part, you will submit your whole application just in a PDF. And so having the page numbers on there is nice, and PDF can do that for you too. And then, but the proposal part, Megan will talk about that, and it's submitted in a little different way. So make sure you're having somebody look at it and review it. You know, we talk to kids about that, and you guys too, and us too. Like, let's make sure that we are looking over our work. And one of the things that Megan and Sam were talking about is, you know, if you want to put an award in, make sure that you communicate that with myself, Megan, and Sam, just so we know which one you're looking at. What we'd hate to do is have like 10 of you write an application for the same award, and then we only get to submit one. You know, maybe we can look at all the different awards that people are looking at and say, oh, well, this one would be great in this category, and this one would be, so we could just adjust them a little bit so we could have more people get your proposals through too. Okay. I'm good to go.
I was gonna say, like, last year we kind of talked about it, like Sue was saying, like who was submitting what, and like, oh, this could maybe go to a different category. So that way we have a better chance, because we can only send one per category per state to the region to be judged. And so if we can put it in a different category, we have more opportunities to send things forward and have our possibility of winning awards. So just, we're trying to be strategic here.
Yeah, so we do judge them at our state level. Then they're judged at regional and at state level too, depending on if they go ahead. So in the past, there's a platform called Open Waters, and I think right now they must be having trouble with it. And I think that's what Sam had heard. And so it's not open yet. They're due on the 13th of February, but the platform's not actually open. Oh, wait, this is for the awards. The awards won't be due until March, but they'll let us know when that's available, and then you can submit them. You need to log in via the NAE4-HYDP website. If you do not have a login for that, that is something you definitely should do. There's a lot of great information there, and information about the conference as well too. So, and then there's the same award page there too as another link, just to make sure that you guys have that. All right, so now we're going to look at the two types of awards. There's specialty awards, which is just different programming through different categories. So I've got these categories. I wrote them all down here for you because I want you to just like skim through this. I know it's a lot of reading, and this is not a really great PowerPoint, but this is what we're doing today. We're looking at, like, what kind of programs have you been doing this past year? So I've been hearing about Bread in a Bag program by, must be Lynette and Rebecca, and I think I'm missing somebody, but when you think about 4-H club support, maybe that's something that fits in there, or maybe it fits in egg literacy, or maybe it has something to do with citizenship. I don't know exactly what your program is. So think about where would that fit into one of these categories. I know there's a lot of people that have been doing, fantastic with shooting sports. So there's number 20's Excellence in Shooting Sports Programming Award. So maybe there's something that you've been doing there. Excellence in Teamwork. That Bread in a Bag thing has been a teamwork thing. I know a lot of people have gotten together. So maybe that's another place that you've been doing. If you've been working with teens, there's a lot of different teen awards on here. There's technology awards, diversity and inclusion. If you've been doing something with that, there's another great award there. Okay, so just this is all on that website that we gave you, so you can look at that. But I want you to just know that there's a lot of different categories here that you can apply for. All right, we'll go ahead. So when you're doing the specialty awards, it's not very long, and we've got some examples so you can see, and we're also going to give you some idea to think through some of this stuff when we're done chatting at you too. But 150 word abstract. The abstract's just your intro. I'm going to show you an example of that. A 3-page narrative. So just make sure, I know Megan said she had maybe got a little overboard on hers, but the narrative is, there's specific things for you to write about. And all of the specialty awards, you can read about every single one of them on that website. So you can see where they fit best with what you're doing. Make sure you have good margins and space, single space it, 12-point font, pay attention. They ask for other documents at the end. So maybe you might need a letter of support. Now, I know I think it's the military ones needs 3 letters of support. So you have to, make sure you read all of that. They might ask you for, you can use other documents, like maybe you have a flyer, you can attach something like that, a newspaper clipping, maybe you have pictures. All of those kinds of things are acceptable in different awards. So, okay, Megan, we'll go ahead. All right, so here was just an example of those additional info kind of things that you can add. The one on the left is, nice, clear, colorful pictures that's actually attached to the document. It's got nice little captions that are very readable. So that would be more of a desirable way to do something like that. Again, making sure we're taking high quality pictures, so when you put them on there, they look nice. Where you see the black and white one, really hard to read. It's nice to have that little article on there, but people probably aren't going to read it. And then there's the caption under the picture. There's a lot of words, and the picture is very dark. So, just thinking about obvious things that you guys already know, but make sure that you're watching for those kinds of things too. And one other thing that I wanted to talk about too is like, I know Megan's won awards and Sam's won awards. I haven't won an award from this, but I have applied many times. And the reason is because I feel like you need the experience too. And you got to put yourself out there sometimes. So even if I put something in that's like, maybe wasn't the best application or whatever, I did it. And so I just want to encourage you guys to do that too. Maybe you are going to get that award the very first year you do it, but maybe not. And at least we're putting ourselves out there, and we're, nothing else, you use it for some really good impact statements and that kind of stuff too. So, all right, Megan, you can go. I'll try to get through this so you can. All right, so communicator awards. And there's Megan with her lovely award that she got last year. She got several awards, I think, last year. So this is basically when you're using communication skills for, maybe you're presenting some information to a group, or you've put together some curriculum, or put together some media, something or whatever. So if you go to the next slide, it shows us, here's the different categories for this. There's only 15, but you can think about, they're more those kinds of work that you do that's gives something to somebody. So when I read this, though, I think of a lot of things that people are doing out there. There's a new program. I know it's not necessarily 4-H, but there's some podcasts that are being done that maybe, might be some really great innovative ways to pat your back on the back for that. I know there's several people that do some really cool personal columns that are weekly. That would be a great kind of award to put yourself up for. Maybe there's a feature story. Maybe you did a really cool, I saw somebody that college, Cloverbud College, and maybe there was a really cool feature story about it, or a news story came out about something that you did, or you have that educational piece that you've put together with the team, or you've done individually. So there's lots of good ideas here. So just think about what kind of program you're doing and where might it fit in that too. All right, Megan.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, going on with what Sue said about the team, and so if you're not a member of the association or national association, that's okay. That like you could be on a team with somebody that is. So for example, like last year, not this immediate past conference, but the 2021 one. So I received the Educational Package Team Award with my colleagues at South Dakota State. Well, they are not members of the association, but I was, so we submitted it through me, and so they could still get recognized. But so it's okay. You can have people on your team that are not a member. We just have the person that's submitting it has to be a member. So that's how that kind of works.
And you can read about those different rules once you go in there too, because there's a whole bunch of rules. We're not touching on all of that too. So these are all of the areas that you have to write about when you're doing the communicator awards. So again, there's a 3-page maximum. You've got to have some nice margins and things on there. Megan and Sam have done some really nice communicator awards. If this is an area that you want to submit into, please ask them. We're going to just show you a few quick examples here too of just different ways people have submitted things, so that you can see that it doesn't matter. Like if you're, I don't know if my program is like lofty enough for an award. Every kind of program has been through here in these awards. And that's another reason that it's a great idea to be a reviewer, because you will see that. You will see there's like Megan's vaping program that is just highly done professionally and to the end, versus another program. When I think about our Getting Happy Hour, we don't have any real curriculum. We've just done some fun things. We've done things to enhance people's well-being, but it's not as like professionally done. So they both work. So this was an example of an overview that Sam was involved with, and it's just a nice little paragraph that talks about what they did. I'm not expecting you to be able to read this, but if you want to go back and you can read that later, you can see that it's just, you know, short, sweet, precise, talks about what exactly happened, who attended, and a little bit about what the results were. Okay, and then the next one is, this is what I wanted to show you as a nice example. You know, even if you can put your presentate your award application on some sort of letterhead or something nice like that, it looks really nice that, you know, if you can just do that. And Sam's kind of working with AgCom. Maybe we'll have something, maybe we won't. But there are templates that say NDSU on them. They just don't say 4-H, NDSU extension. So we can use those too. All right, next is
and I was going to say too, was what Sue said. I totally agree. This looks really nice on letterhead. And so when I judged awards one year, like I had submitted something without like the nice letterhead, and then people had submitted, and I was like, oh, let's do that. So it kind of gave me the knowledge, hey, maybe next time submit, put it on letterhead. So it does help to be a reviewer, like Sue was saying.
Yeah, and you can even actually save the ones you've looked at, and then you can go back and, you know, you use the kind of wording and stuff too. So this is just, you know, impacts, I think, sometimes scare people. Well, I didn't really do a very good survey at the end or whatever. But if you look at, here's two different ways again that was done. One's pretty short and concise. It just talks about, you know, how many downloads there were and the different episodes. And the other one's very much more talks about, you know, statistics and that kind of thing. And so you don't have to have statistics. You can do something simple, or you can do it more complicated. Both kinds work. All right, next one. All right, so just, and Megan talked about this, you know, that you don't need to be if you do a team, you just have to have one person be the member. Most of these awards do have to be completed in the previous year from January 1 to December 31. But there's a couple of them that I think some of the ones that are like club management and things that take a little more like time to get up. And so maybe they might say cannot be involved in this program for more than 5 years, or might need to be like a 2-year or something. So there are some exceptions. And so that's what you just read through to see that. But you can't submit identical entries in more than one category. But what we did talk about is that if you have something that you feel is a really good program for an award, it's probably also a really good program that other people want to learn about. And so you should do 2 applications, one for an award and one to present. And the reason for that is that you can probably use 90% of the same language and just submit it in for an award and to present. And it's a really good experience to present at national conference too. And if you're a little intimidated about doing that alone, any one of us would be more than willing to help you too, or present with you too, if you wanted that. All right, I think that might be the end of me. Oh, there's a couple new ones. Just know that there's some things for if you're doing anything really innovative. And there's also, last year they put out the new awards for social media piece and package. So if you're doing some really great stuff with that, these, you know, they're new. So maybe that not many people are applying either. All right, and then the next one is a couple of them have money that's connected to it. So, you know, if you're working in any of these, and I don't know what ones we'd all qualify for, but I know our 4-H military partnership there have been some really great things that we've been doing there. And so I think we're thinking about that needs to get submitted this year too. All right, then I'm almost done here, sorry. Oh, service awards yet. Okay, so we do have service awards too. And if you don't know what that is, it's just being recognized for the number of years that you've been in 4-H and NAE4-HYDP. So it's put together by our association. So our association will send out a list of who's all been in our 4-H in our organization for how many years. So the ASA is 3 to 7 years. So if you've been in that long, then you can get, and we nominate each other. So you just write, you know, like 50 50-word limit statement about that person, why you think they'd be great. And we try to make sure that everybody can get all the awards too. So, and then there's the DSA, which is 7 to 10, I think it is. And these you didn't have to be in the association the whole entire time. Like most of them say the last 2 years, and I think the 25 years of service, you just have to be in 4 years consecutive to that, the last 4. Meritorious service is for the 15 plus years of service. So it's any time you've been in at least 3 years and more, you can qualify for one of these awards. So watch for that, and then just, work hard to be submitting for your coworkers. You can submit for yourself too if you really wanted to. That's a great idea. All right, next one.
I see in the chat box.
Acacia
put that Rebecca Hager is the president-elect, so she'll be doing awards this year. So she would send out to our members, hey, watch, who would you like to nominate? So watch that coming from her when it's time for the award nominations.
Yeah, and Sarah says support staff for service awards, but no, I don't think so, because you have to be in the organization.
You have to be a member.
Mm-hmm.
A good question, Leo. Thanks for asking that. That was good.
But there are other ways to nominate support staff for awards too, though. So
yeah, I think,
not through this.
And Sarah, I think the ESP Epsilon Sigma Phi, I think I saw that come out yesterday or so. We can nominate support staff for those awards, and those are given out at fall conference every year. I'll send you that email.
Okay, and then the last thing that I really want you guys to know about is the scholarship. So if you have not been to the conference before, there is a first-time scholarship. I know Emily Burkett's used these, and it's really, really super easy to apply. And they always have a lot of money left over because not enough people apply. So if you really want to go, please do this. There's first time scholarship, and then the second time scholarship, you have to go the first year and attend the newcomers orientation. So just make sure you do that, but which I don't think is too painful, but just make sure you do that, and then you can get 2-year scholarship. So I hope that some of you apply for that too. All right, and then the next, I think they were again, just that information is all there. That's the same link again. So we just want to get more of you on stage. Look at our lovely coworker up there. She's winning, I don't know, were you doing a ASA, one of the service awards there, or did you win something else, Acacia?
That was in New Orleans. So that would have been the ASA, right? Yeah.
Long time ago.
Way to reach into the vault.
It was the first thing that came up. Okay. All right. So let's look at conference workshop proposals. Megan?
Okay. Yeah, and just to kind of wrap up the awards talk we were talking about with Sue. So the lovely abstract that she showed that Sam Lawman completed when she won last year when she was in Minnesota. So she submitted that. And also, Sam, what else did you submit? It was more than just that abstract. Can you tell them what else you had to turn in?
Sure. So ours was radio audio, so it was really pretty simple. So it was the abstract. Did we have any cost? Who was the partnerships? What was the reach? What impacts did we think we had? Which all fit on one sheet of paper. And then just simply a link to the podcast that we wanted them to listen to, the set of 4. So if you've done a newspaper article or a magazine article or been interviewed on TV for WDAY, any of those, it's just simply adding the link so that they can go watch the video to YouTube or directly to the news site. So don't think it's a massive undertaking. There's a reason why all the applications are limited to 3 pages or less. It really usually only about a page and a half is what you're going to actually have to write about your program.
Right. And so Sam and I are talking about the communicator awards. And so I'll just tell you what I've had experience with. And so she talked about the podcast part, but I've was recognized for the educational piece last year for the vaping curriculum. And like Sam said, it was that 1.5-page abstract, the things that she named off. And then I literally just had a PDF version of the slides, the handouts, and the lesson plan for the vaping, and I uploaded that as a PDF document. So those were the two pieces that were submitted for the educational piece. And then package would be like 3 different pieces together. So there were 4, the colleagues and I at South Dakota, we got the educational package. Again, it was that 1-pager that Sam talked about, the abstract. And then we, it was the launch skills curriculum. So it was literally a PDF of that workbook. And then we had like our career camp website. So that's a link, like Sam was mentioning, a link. And then we also had some webinars. And so we put a link to a webinar to watch. So those things are already like done. So you've already done these things. And so think about things that are out there that you have a link to, or, you know, something you've created. And so it wasn't like any more work to create, just kind of putting it all together and writing that 1.5 page or so abstract. So is there any questions now for Sue or me or Sam about awards? Anything? Okay, well, if y'all think about it, you can just jump in. So
right. So sorry, Megan, but the plan is to, like, Megan's going to talk about the proposals here, and then
now
we're going to
talk about the conference workshop proposals, and that that deadline has been set, and that is February the 13th. So that's coming right around the corner. So like Sue said earlier, be a reviewer, because you'll see what's out there, and we're doing just as good, if not better, programming than people that submit. So you have definitely worthy programs to submit. We just aren't getting them out there, and we should. So like we said, the conference is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on October 10th through 12th, 2023, and they're a lot of fun. Acacia's a lot of fun to go. The whole group is fun. We all have a really good time at the conference. Learn a lot, play a lot, have spend time with your colleagues. And for me, like, I got to know people that I had not really got to spend time with, which was really cool. And so this year they've kind of made the abstract proposals more simple, I think. And so everything is a 60-minute session, like a workshop. So that's good. And like I said, the deadline is February the 13th. So it's coming around the corner, and you have a choice of having a workshop, the 60-minute workshop, or a poster. And so you can add, but the submission process is exactly the same. And then if you submit for a session, but it doesn't get selected, you can say, they say, hey, do you want to do a poster? So you have that option of also opting into a poster if your session is not selected. So these are the requirements. So, and when I click on the link, it'll take you to, it has to be informed by their strategic plan, the PRKC, or the different documents that are out there informing our work. But don't get all hung up on those. Simply on I'm going to go through and show you how you apply these 7 bullet points: access, equity, and opportunity, effective organizational systems, power of youth, program design and delivery, research and evaluation, teaching and learning, and volunteerism. You simply have to select one. You don't have to make any comments on why you selected it. You just have to select one of those, what you think it best fits under. So I would not spend too much time stressing over that. So pick one of those categories. And then there's 4 key areas that I want you to think about when you write your proposal. And we all have this because we're all, you know, educators, and we design, program, we implement, we evaluate. So we have these things. So 4 key areas. So they want to know, what are the participants going to gain as a result of attending this session? What kind of knowledge and skills are they going to get? What do you want them to walk away with? What do you want them to know? What do you want them to be able to do? Then a session description, your teaching plan, just kind of through your head, how you're going to walk through it, how that day is going to look. And that's really important, because I feel like when these are scored and reviewed, they're really looking for it. You know, is it an experiential learning opportunity? Is it hands-on? You know, is there an activity for the participants to do? Because we all like going to sessions that we actually do things. Number 3, evaluation results, demonstrating success and impact. And yes, for the vaping, I did have some data, thanks to all you have implemented the vaping and sent me back some results. So I did have some results when I submitted last year, but they don't have to be as detailed or as, let's see, statistically oriented as I might have. We'll show you an example that mine look very different than like Sue's or Sam's, but they were both all accepted. And then also number 4, your 4th point is, how are you going to let people replicate this? What are you going to give them? Are you going to give them a link? Are you going to give us some handouts? How are they going to take this home? Because we all know we're just hungry to take home information and put these programs into practice in our counties. So those are the 4 key areas to think about, and that's it. And so this is an example. This was mine for the vaping one this past year. So they asked for knowledge and skills. So I did a column on knowledge. I did a column on skills. So what kind of knowledge are they going to learn? And then what kind of skills are they going to gain? So I just kind of listed it out. That was number 1. And last year was 300 words max, but this year it's actually a lot shorter. And then session description, a teaching plan. And so this looks different. You know, this is the way Sue submitted their getting happy hour, what they're going to gain. So she wrote hers very different than mine. Mine was more columns and hers is more of a paragraph. So you can do it either way. And then evaluation. This is Sam's results from her evaluation. So she had some percents here. Educator impact. So she just had, you just have to have something on here, maybe some qualitative data, like what did teachers say, or what did the youth say as a result of your program? You know, we just need to have some way. They've just made a point to me that it's important to put down that this program has been implemented, and you have done it. Not just that you're thinking about doing it. So it's just important to have something to put there. And then replicate it. How are they going to replicate the happy hour? So Sue puts in here how they're going to actually, people can take this home to their counties and what they can do. This workshop is easily replicated as a professional development workshop. So tells them how they can take it home into their counties. And then this was an example from mine, from the vaping one. I said that I was going to give a lesson plan with detailed instructions, had handouts there, also had a QR code they could click on and actually go to the Google Drive where all these were housed. And so what are you going to give them to take home with them? So that's important as well. So I'm going to go to, let's see, the link to show you, well, let's see. I want to go to the link and show you about the submission process. Okay. So now you're looking at, this is the link that I sent out in your email earlier about the abstracts, and, you know, deadline February 13th, right around the corner. And then if you're interested in looking about learning about the strategic plan or the vision, these documents are here. Don't get hung up on it. Literally, you have to select one of these 7. Okay. And so now I'm going to go to submit the abstract, and hopefully this will like show you what to do. So I kind of made like a mock one so we can walk through it. So I'm going to log in. You have to create an account, but it's really easy. This is way easier than it has been in the past, I think. So that's your account here. And so I kind of created this one. So I'm going to do edit. Literally there's like 3 steps. So here's you would enter your, are you submitting for an abstract or poster? I would recommend putting session down there, in my opinion. So put session, I think, unless you're just really hung up on doing posters, but we're all great presenters and we have things to share. And so put session if you can. Your information on your author here. And then you have to like put a little biography about yourself. That's not really in the website instructions, but it looks like a biography about the first presenter. Then you have to put a picture of yourself. I don't know where it's going to end up, but who knows? They haven't done this before. And then this is, if your abstract is not chosen as a session presentation, would you want to be considered for a poster? Yes or no? So you can decide on that. And then if you have your other co-authors here, you can add them as well. And like I said, this main person here has to be a member. So if you're not a member, let's find somebody here that is a member, and then you could be like a co-presenter. So that's your first screen, save and continue. And then your title and learning objectives. And I want to point out, this is characters, not words. This is really short. Sam says this is like a tweeze on Twitter. So she said like maybe like 2 sentences right here. Maybe a sentence like what the whole outcome you want them to walk away with. And then here's the drop down menu, what you have to select. So there's no other explanation of, you don't have to explain why you picked it. And then here's the 4 questions. What are they going to gain as a result? Session description, your teaching plan, your evaluation results, and how you're going to replicate it. And then you would just like paste it in this box on here. And note down here, you can only have 2,000 characters. So that's pretty short. Like I looked at mine last year and it was like 5,000 characters. So they really don't want much anymore. So watch your character limit there. And then so save and continue. And then it just kind of lets you see what you submitted. And then you would hit submit. And that's all you have to do. So it's a lot simpler than it has been the past. So I think these are all very doable, and we all have really good things that you can submit. And so now I was just wanting to have like a kind of open discussion or breakout rooms of maybe award submissions or proposal topics, just kind of talk quickly and to see what y'all are thinking. Sue, what do you think? Or Sam?
Yeah, maybe if we do 3 rooms, I wonder if we can see what type of things people are more interested in. Be able to, maybe if you stop sharing and we just see all of the people. If you're more interested in an award, raise your hand.
Or we could just talk about it. Here we have like 13 people or so. We could just talk about it here.
Okay, that sounds great.
So let's see. Who was thinking about, I'll just call it Sarah. What are you thinking about? Do you have any ideas? Submitting either awards or proposal?
Okay, am I the only Sarah on is always my first question.
I think you are, yeah.
There's always like 6 of us. Okay, so I was looking at the Excellence in Animal Science Award and the Excellence in Shooting Sports.
So what about the programs that you've done so far that you think would qualify for that? What are some special things that stand out to you?
Sure, well, the Excellence in Animal Science Award was that we completely rebooted our livestock judging and meats judging programs after an 18-year hiatus. We hosted 2 multi-county live practices. It's just taken off. And lots of support from the county, and we were able to win reserve champion senior team at the state meats judging contest. So some prize winning success, but that's not at all that this is about, but just seeing families re-engage in 4-H with the next generation. As far as shooting sports goes, and we've done some really creative things with those teams as far as fundraising and taking live goats to story time at the library to increase interest in livestock projects in 4-H. And so we've done some pretty fun things with that group of kids. In shooting sports, we've expanded to practicing in 3 cities each week. 2 of those locations will go to twice a week, engaging with the schools and becoming a pilot county for the Guardians for Health program through National 4-H Shooting Sports. And we've actually been asked to present that to all of the high school students at the Garrison High School, but because it's a pilot program, Brown University is like, wait, let us catch up to you. And so I see that, just more of that firearm safety, shooting sports safety, becoming something that I'm going to deliver in communities in McLean County as an extension agent.
I'm not 100% sure, and Sam could probably talk more about this, but I think like excellence in the animal science is a really popular category.
I kind of figured.
But you know what? What I hear you talking about is like revitalizing a 4-H program. How do you get a program that's needs some life sparked back into it? And you could talk about all the ways that you've done that, and so it could probably fit into communicator award or something, or even as a presentation, that could be how you could present it too, is like, what are some ways you can get excited about bumping up your program? And somebody's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to take a goat to the library, or, So, who's next? Brianna, you have lots of programs. Are you thinking about one that you could write something? No? What?
What about your apology?
Nothing's coming to mind. I've thought about it, but I don't have anything that has come to mind with anything.
What about your apology workshops that you present
Mhm.
that you did at like the volunteer training this past year? Could that be submitted to for a proposal?
I don't know if it's quite ready yet because I'm still creating all the content available for the volunteers. I think volunteers are sick of me showing them where the stuff is, but I'm still working on creating everything, so I don't think it's there yet to submit.
Well,
The
and one
piece
thing
of
for
advice I
everyone to
will-
keep in mind is that, it does have to be in, most of them are like within the past year that you had to have been doing these programs. So that always puts a little bit of a pressure on it too. Lynette, do you have a good program?
I was just gonna ask, so Kelly, Leo, and I have talked about the bread fair,
Mhm.
one that we did at fall conference. So she actually submitted it last year as a poster. So is it able to be done as a session then this year?
Yeah, do it again.
Okay.
Did she submit only as a poster last year?
Yes.
Well, submit it as a session
Okay.
Mhm.
and for an award too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we've talked about it, but boy, we're on the deadline here.
Well,
So,
we can help you. And say, I think Sam was about to say something about something keeping in mind. What were you gonna say, Sam?
Yeah, one of the things I would suggest, so just so it doesn't sound like I'm brand new and coming in and like giving advice. As of 10 days ago, I resigned as the awards chair in the other state. So I'm like, hey, awards, I like this. The biggest piece of advice I would give is kind of almost think small about your programming. Don't think giant, expansive things. So like Sarah, when you were talking about like, we did this and we did this and we did this, and this is all the things that like revitalized our meats judging and our livestock judging programs. When you mentioned like you did 2 multi-county workshops, if you 100% focused your application just on those workshops and the partnerships you built, and then highlighted a few of the other things like, oh, we did have a team because of this, or the neighboring counties had teams, but focus on one core part of your program, I think it makes it a lot easier to write. And then it really stands out in your application. The first couple of applications I wrote, I tried to write about bigger scaled things. And when you only have that like page and a half, that's really difficult to give good details when you don't have enough. So like last year, my award for audio and video, that was a part of a series of, there were 3 blog posts on the U of M website. Then there were 3 articles in the Dairy Star magazine. And then we did 4 podcasts. So I focused on just the podcast pieces. And so I can highlight that, yep, we utilize this information in other ways, but nothing is too small to nominate. If you're just doing a couple of like really cool Cloverbud story times with a hands-on activity and it's all themed around animals or around science, that is very award worthy. It really comes down to just kind of how you write it. So I know, like Megan has said, she's more than willing to help write or review. I certainly am. I know Sue is too. So don't count your program out because you don't think it's big enough or you've done enough, because that's certainly not the case.
And I think attending conference, like you see a lot of presentations, and a lot of times I leave them like, oh, so and so in our state is doing something way cooler than that. They should be here presenting on it. Or like, I went to a volunteer session this year and I was like, oh, Rochelle has them like, she's way ahead of that. You know what I mean? So I think that we sell ourselves short. It's hard for us to always think of something that is noteworthy, but maybe helping, if we know some of our peers are doing something cool, helping encouraging them too is probably good.
Yeah, I would agree. Dustin, what are you thinking?
I guess right now I haven't really been given much thought to it. I know that occasion I just kind of chatted a little bit ago. We're thinking about doing a STEM camp. And so, writing it all up as an action plan, how we've done that, what the benefits are, et cetera. So, but that's just pie in the sky right now. So nothing really definite.
For the award or for the session?
Well, we already got the grant, or
Grant.
well, waiting for the money, but
Correct.
So
So
you're thinking
next
about
year, next year, yeah.
But Brianna, you could maybe take a piece of your like topology stuff that Sam was, mentioning and submit that because you got such great stuff. And I know that you kind of moved some training like online and stuff like virtual after COVID and stuff. So maybe a twist on that piece as well. So I think that maybe a piece of it would be good to submit.
Yeah, I really like what you said, Sam, and like for any of your programs, then, you could have a little piece of that be something that you put an award in for each year then too, except you have to keep doing the same stuff. You have to do it in that year, but there's a lot of possibilities, so.
Lynette,
guys
Lynette, are you all going to put in for an award for the bread thing?
I'd have to talk to Kelly. I know we talked about doing a session, but maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing to put in for an award then.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, as we wrap up, just like going off what Lynette said, if people that are wanting to, I'll put this in an email too, but people that are wanting to submit a word, just kind of tell me or Sue or Sam what you're thinking so we can be sure we don't have multiple people all in the same category, so we can have a lot of things submitted from our state too. And we'll be glad to help you review, look at things if you would like us to help.
You guys have questions of anything or like right now? Oh, Brianna's looking at the criteria, so awesome. Yep, volunteerism, that would actually be a really great category too.
And I'm going to send out the PowerPoint as well with the recording. So, and all the links that we went through are on there, so you can easily get to that. And then Sue and Sam and my contact information, so you can reach out to us so we can help you. And I know it's like only like about 2 weeks away till it's due for the proposals, and we don't have an award date deadline yet. Rebecca Hager will send that out, but we can still get it in by the 13th. Proposals. It's way simpler than it was in the past. So even if you have a rough draft, one of us can look at it and help you through it.
Yeah. Lots of good programming. So just keep and encourage, your friends and neighbors too, and yourselves. So, but I do like, Keisha, what you said is that it's true. There's things that you see like, oh my goodness, we've been doing this. Why aren't we here? We just have to get better about promoting the things that we're doing in North Dakota, because we're doing a lot of really great stuff.
And encourage your coworkers too, your colleagues. They're doing something that we may not know. Just tell them or tell us, and we can help encourage them to apply and submit. So.
All right, we're looking for lots of good awards this year.
All right, well, if there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and end it for the day. Thank y'all for joining us today.
Thanks for doing this, ladies.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks for joining us for Webinar Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.